She was merely a mechanic. "Why's the general even here?" one officer muttered, barely lowering his voice as he observed the soldiers forming precise lines along the rain-drenched runway. Boots snapped to attention, salutes rising in perfect unison, while above, a thunderbolt's roar cut through the storm, descending like a force called by something beyond mere rank. But she simply walked. Her name was Carter, U.S. Army. No pomp, no flourish, just a duffel bag slung over one shoulder and a silence that drowned out any cheers. Her uniform clung to her, soaked, her face unreadable, yet every gaze was fixed on her. Something had shifted. This time they weren't looking past her. They were seeing her, unaware of the trials she'd endured to reach this moment. 2 weeks prior, she'd been invisible, a grease-covered figure bent over a helicopter engine, ignored in the mess hall, skipped over in briefings, brushed off as that maintenance girl. She was the soldier who worked doubly hard for half the recognition. When something failed, her work was always the first scrutinized. So when Alpha 7 crashed, she braced for what was coming. 6 soldiers lost, a mission in ruins, and the whispers spread like wildfire. Her engine, wasn't it? She signed off on that bird, didn't she? They didn't say her name, they didn't need to. Her silence was their evidence. When headquarters summoned her, she didn't waver. The commanding officer didn't yell. He didn't need to. "You're relieved from duty pending investigation," he said. She didn't weep or protest. She nodded, turned, and stepped back into the shadows they thought were her place. But she didn't stay there. The next morning, while others fueled their rumors, she rented a truck and drove 7 hours to the crash site. On her own time, her own dime. No orders, no approval, just determination. At the site, she sifted through muddy wreckage, hands numb and raw, searching every fragment until she found it. A cracked hydraulic line concealed behind paneling. A manufacturing flaw, undetectable unless you knew where to look. She snapped photos, logged serial numbers, understanding this was bigger than herself. This wasn't an error, it was a defect that could down any thunderbolt. She compiled her findings, called a colonel who'd never acknowledged her, and said, "Sir, I've found the true cause." He didn't thank her or believe her. So she went higher, submitting a detailed report to Central Flight Operations. Then she waited. Days passed with no response, until her phone rang and everything changed. The Defense Hub ordered a fleet-wide inspection. Over 40 aircraft were grounded for safety checks. Her discovery was confirmed. Her solitary, unpaid, unauthorized investigation had saved lives. More than that, it reshaped Thunderbolt maintenance protocols across the entire branch. Overnight, she went from scapegoat to hero, from silence to salutes. Now, those same officers who'd whispered behind her stood at attention on that rain-soaked runway, not because they were ordered to, but because they understood. The general wasn't there for ceremony, he was there for her. He stepped forward, rain streaming off his cap, boots resounding on the concrete. Without speeches or fanfare, he saluted her. She paused, then returned the gesture. He handed her a commendation, not in a private office, not for cameras, but right there, on the same runway where she'd once been unseen. She didn't speak, she didn't need to. Her silence said enough. This wasn't just her victory, it was for every woman overlooked, every soldier doubted for not fitting the mold, every mechanic, engineer, medic, or support staffer told they'd never earn recognition because they weren't in combat. But this was combat. Her bravery, her tenacity, her refusal to be erased. That was the mission. She turned, duffel in hand, and walked down the runway, past every man who'd once dismissed her. This time they watched, not with judgment but with reverence. No more doubts, no more dismissals. Just the quiet, profound realization that heroes don't always wield rifles. Sometimes they wield wrenches. And sometimes they save the mission by refusing to surrender. She didn't need a parade. She'd earned something greater, respect. Before we close this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. If this tale moved you, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave a karma in the comments below.